Today, we'll reveal the top 5 games vying for X-Play's Game of the Year award.
Plus, brutally honest reviews of new titles from 2 of gaming's most popular franchises, Silent Hill and Zelda. X-Play starts right now.
Hello and welcome to X-Play, TV's most watched video game show. I'm Adam Sessler.
And I'm Morgan Webb. Today is a big day. The world may never be the same.
Yes, coming up, we're going to reveal our nominees for Game of the Year. Find out which 5 titles will go head-to-head in our Best of 2009 special. It's like the Oscars for games, only shorter. And I'm not as hammered and there's no streakers.
Yes. Plus, we are going to review The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks, the DS game that wants you to blow into the mic at inopportune moments. It's a great thing to do in public.
Then a brutally honest review of the new Silent Hill game. Find out if shattered memories for the week and bring the series back to life, or not.
Or not. And Blair Herter will reveal his top 5 iPhone games. You should listen to what he has to say. He uses his phone so much, he's probably going to be the first guy to get iPhone cancer.
But first, the news that will blow up on the forums.
It is time to reveal our nominees for Game of the Year.
There are 5 games.
Yes.
We'll put them all in the X-Play Thunderdome, and only one will emerge victorious.
Here are the nominees.
Assassin's Creed 2 is the delicious Italian sorbet of gameplay goodness. The developers have finessed a lot of issues from the first game, and the gorgeous new backdrop of Renaissance Italy makes the experience feel like digital sightseeing.
Basta merda, he's getting away!
Desmond's new avatar of Ezio has a much more lively adventure than Altair, and the beautiful soundtrack enhances an already magical experience. There's nothing like hearing sweet, sweet music while you murder. But if you like your action dirty, Borderlands might be your personal pick for Game of the Year.
Someone's getting a treat.
Sure, there's a single-player option here, but the game achieves true greatness when you play through with friends. Guns and other assorted loot are constantly dropping, and the overall experience is like being an attention-span-deprived kid in a candy store. An exploding candy store. Infamous came to us from Sucker Punch Productions, developers of the excellent Sly Cooper franchise. Although this game doesn't feature a talking turtle, we still have a special place in our hearts reserved for the adventures of Cole McGrath.
I'll find out what's going on.
Infamous hands players a set of cool electricity-based superpowers and then loads on great mission variety and the perfect level of challenge. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 has basically taken the crown as this year's online first-person shooter of choice. Serious gamers know that the single-player mode offers up an intensely brutal storyline alongside fun set pieces like this snowmobile chase. But they chew through that quickly to savor the main course, the game's epic multiplayer. Never before has a company offered up such a comprehensive array of polished online options. We'll have our hands glued to the controllers until Part 3 arrives. And finally, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves can only be described with one word: massive.
Should I be flattered or worried?
The first game was a solid action title, but this ups the ante in virtually every way possible. Dialogue is sharp and character-driven, the controls are spot on, enemy AI is engagingly clever, graphics are gorgeous, and they even throw in an excellent multiplayer mode with multi-tiered maps. You absolutely can't pass on this game. It's just that good.
Yeah, hello.
Here we've got 5 really good games here and a few you might not expect. We did not make a rule that only 5 out of 5 games could be in the running. For example, Assassin's Creed 2 got a 4 out of 5. It improved a lot of issues from the first game.
And like the process is different from previous years, is that we did it kind of by a straight ballot. That way, it doesn't lean towards everything that gets a 5 out of 5. It's with someone's personal choices. And that allowed, those games which are quite good. Remember, a review is done by one person.
Yeah.
This is done by kind of a plurality.
Well, and also a game can have some issues that maybe aren't perfect.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean the game's not really fun.
And that doesn't mean it doesn't have sort of a sense of resonance with a lot of people out there. It's like, there can be technical hiccups that don't, bring a game down.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And the atmosphere in Assassin's Creed is amazing.
Modern Warfare 2, obviously, I don't think this one was kind of a long shot into that short list. Obviously, it's really strong. I think for most people, though, it really is that multiplayer that's really carrying it through. Single-player game is good, but I don't think it had the same level of impact as the original Modern Warfare did.
You play the single player to kind of get your feet wet in the game?
Absolutely, and I think what they've done in the single player in this game is they have more of those beauty shots where you're coming out of the tunnel. Spoiler! You're coming out of the tunnel and you see the White House on fire.
Yeah.
It was more like check out this awesome game that we have that we just put a little gloss on, but go play the multiplayer.
Right.
Well, it did strike me as kind of an AC/DC song, which I think are only the good parts of rock and roll and none of the kind of like, let's get to the good parts.
Yeah.
So that's how I see the game.
Somebody in a skirt somewhere is very mad at you right now. And then the third sequel making the Game of the Year category is obviously
Uncharted
2.
Yes.
Right here.
I love this game. You know that. As I said, it's the best single-player game I ever played. And it's not just because I said that it made the list, but yes, I was definitely very excited.
I think it's a popular game amongst all the exploit tappers.
Yeah,
you know,
I
it's
agree.
a great story, has great writing.
And it just kind of, we were just talking about a package with Modern Warfare 2. This really feels like a fast game, and then you kind of look at your watch and
Right.
like, hold on, I've been actually playing this much longer than I thought. It just has that beautiful pacing that just carries you from one scene to the
And if you have a
next.
significant other, they're happy to sit there and watch you play through the game as if they were watching a movie. And that's fun for everybody but me.
Infamous. I think this is kind of where the surprise was.
Absolutely.
I think there were four that were kind of obvious. Infamous. We really like this. This is from much earlier in the year.
I mean, not all the big blockbuster games have to come out at the end of the year. We do remember playing and loving Infamous and getting our hands on it and being like, I can't believe this is kind of, there aren't any other games out right now, and this is fantastic.
And it is such a unique way of approaching the open world game.
Yeah.
I mean, there's such a traditional way. And this said, let's look at it more like a superhero.
Yeah.
It's not really a superhero.
And then Borderlands.
Yes.
Another one that everybody has been playing constantly. It has that 4-player co-op that everyone's been loving. So
yeah, it's just this game controls better than almost any shooter I've ever played. It's just the satisfaction of that is enough to make it up.
Absolutely. 60 hours of awesome shooting.
All right, well, hopefully we've whetted your appetite. We're going to be revealing the winner of the Game of the Year award next week during X-Play's Best of 2009 special.
All right, for the full list of nominees, get on the web, go to g4tv.com. We have lots more categories.
That's right. And when X-Play returns, we're going to count down the top 7 scariest Silent Hill moments ever, as well as review Silent Hill Shattered Memories. Do you guys hope this game brings back the series to its former glory?
I do.
Yeah, keep hoping on that one, Morgan. Sorry. Plus, I'll reveal my top 5 iPhone games of all time, and believe it or not, none of them feature graphic nudity. I know, Morgan, right?
Weird.
Right? Then we're going to review Legend of Zelda, Spirit Tracks for the DS. It's still not a full-fledged game for the Wii, but it'll do. And we're going to have all the latest massively multiplayer news in a new installment of the MMO Report. We'll be right back.
This portion of X-Play was brought to you by the all-new G4TV.com. New, improved, awesome.
Me again.
Okay, now this is the last time, all right?
Thanks. We don't deliver anything like this as crispy flatbread.
Introducing the taste that's never been delivered. Digorno Crispy Flatbread Pizza. It's not delivery, it's Digorno.
I feel like a spy when I hear that music. Welcome back to X-Play. It's no secret that I love playing games on my iPhone. It is the perfect way to shut the world out, avoid eye contact, and drain that sucker's battery life. You need to work on that, AT&T. In today's X list, I will count down my top 5 titles. Coming in at number 5 is Tetris. Yes, I already own the game on a million other platforms, but I am still playing it today. It never gets old. Number 4 is Metal Gear Solid Touch. Unlike other shooting games that try to tack on D-pads and other horrible controls, this one uses the touch screen right. My number 3 iPhone game is Pocket God. As a man who can't even get his own way at Burger King, I appreciate the kind of game that lets me simulate having any sort of control over everything at any time. Number 2 is Galcon. While the premise is send your ships to conquer your opponent's planets seems simple, you need a lot of strategy to win. And my favorite iPhone game is Field Runners. It is the most addictive tower defense game ever, and I will never, ever stop playing it.
Neither will I. Okay, every year at E3, Nintendo fanboys hope that one of the corporate mouthpieces will announce a new Zelda game. A full-fledged adventure for a console, not another Phantom Hourglass. Well, that's exactly what they got this year, another DS game. But you know what? It's okay. You'll see why in our review.
The next Zelda game is pulling out of the station, and it's worth punching a ticket on Link's latest adventure. Spirit Tracks is the sequel to Zelda's first DS title, Phantom Hourglass. Same look, same controls. Different mode of transportation. This time around, it's locomotion by locomotive. You'll be scouring this pleasantly large and populated world while laying the track down on the evil that's trying to take over Hyrule. Something else that returns from Phantom Hourglass is the concept of a central dungeon that you'll be visiting several times. Now, before you get all steamed up and blow your... I've got some good news. You won't have to replay the same levels, and the timer is gone. In fact, this time around, the central dungeon is a lot of fun. The puzzles are devious, and this is one area where Zelda will be lending you a disembodied hand. You see, Zelda had a run-in with a baddie, and she didn't fare very well. I know you're shocked, but at least this time her spirit made it out all right, and in a series first, you'll get to control Zelda. She'll control the Phantom Knights while you puzzle your way through the Tower of the Spirit. She'll go where Link can't, through fire, across lava, the ladies' room. Besides the main tower, in your usual explore, find a weapon, use that weapon to beat the boss dungeons. This time around, a lot of the adventuring takes place via side quests. There are towns to visit, collectibles to acquire, and tracks to lay. If you choose to. Sorry to say, there are some places where Spirit Tracks goes off the rails. While the stylus controls work great for mapping out train routes or boomerang courses, it can be a frustrating way to navigate through dungeons. The cross-country train trips tend to get a little monotonous after a while, and then there's the multiplayer, which isn't even worth mentioning besides saying there is multiplayer. But who cares? This is a Zelda game, not Modern Warfare 2. Spirit Tracks is jam full of everything you loved about Phantom Hourglass, plus some needed improvements that all go to making this a great handheld adventure. This is all the holiday cheer Zelda fans will need. The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks gets 4 out of 5.
If you want news on the latest MMOs, don't trust some fat kid who never leaves the house. Call on wilderness enthusiast / American history buff Casey Schreiner.
Thanks, Adam. Vigil Games has been working on a Warhammer 40k MMO for quite some time, and now thanks to Luke Plunkett and Kotaku, we have 10 new pieces of concept art showing off the game's bulky, badass design. These renderings were done by Vigil artist Billy Wardlaw with some help from character designer Colby Jukes, who recently worked on Mass Effect 2. While there's no big reveal or surprise in these early concepts, the high level of detail and creativity definitely get us psyched to take the battle between order and chaos to the stars. Unfortunately, it's going to be a while. And for the nerd who has everything, a small collection of World of Warcraft collectibles are now available for all your impulse buying activities. Sideshow is currently taking their pre-orders for their Frostmourne replica sword, as well as both Horde and Alliance war flags and tabards. But if you prefer plastic to pewter, the Blizzard store has also started selling deluxe Pandaren Brewmaster action figures. But act now, as these figures are only being released in a limited run, and we know how much you love adding to that personal shrine of loneliness you call a bookshelf. Voxter's microtransaction gang warfare MMO Crimecraft has been banned by the Australian Classification Board. Specifically, the game was nixed in Oz for, quote, drug use related to incentives or rewards, unquote. They went even further to state that, quote, there is insufficient delineation between the fictional drugs available in the game and real-world prescribed drugs, unquote. So I guess it's safe to assume you're not holding Australia? For even more happenings in the world of MMOs and a brand new full episode of the MMO Report premiering every Thursday, check out g4tv.com/MMO. But because I've got to head over to the Rite Aid and get my Christmas shopping done early, I'll send you back over to Blair in the X-Play studio. Thank you, Casey. If you want to watch a bunch of drugged up she-males compete in athletic events, then just go watch the Olympics. We're sorry, South Africa. But if you want to watch red-blooded Americans taking on the world's most sadistic obstacle course, you should watch American Ninja Warrior. And you should definitely watch it because I'm hosting. Probably shouldn't have said that. But more importantly, we sent 10 athletes to Japan to do the impossible and see if one of them can actually pull this thing off. Competition begins this Saturday at 6. Just go to g4tv.com/American Ninja to see videos of these ninja hopefuls. And after the break, we're going to review Silent Hill Shattered Memories for the Wii and count down the top 7 moments from the Unsettling series. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Did you feel the ground shaking? Because earlier in the show we announced our nominees for Game of the Year, and it shook the gaming world to its core. Find out which game wins in our hour-long Best of 2009 special next Tuesday night at 6. Just go to g4tv.com/xplayspecials for more info.
Yes, if you can't understand it, there is a show next week about the Best of the Year. Take something out of your ears. One game that didn't make the cut is Silent Hill Shattered Memories. This Wii-exclusive reimagining of the first game is the next in a continuing series of disappointments that has the franchise slowly sinking into oblivion, and not in the good Bethesda way. Here's our review.
Silent Hill Shattered Memories is ostensibly a reimagining of the original game. This is odd because aside from having characters with the same names and starting with the car wreck, the story is totally unrelated to the original game. There's a nurse and her name is Lisa, but that's pretty much where the similarities end.
I wasn't supposed to be here.
The twist here is that the game will actually change based on your playstyle, and particularly in response to psychological profile tests this guy administers to you periodically in the therapy session framing device.
You're giving me that look.
Or maybe you'll get hair-down friendly Sybil Bennett. Maybe you'll get tightly compressed Fargo Sybil. This actually works pretty well and offers a good amount of replayability, helpful when your game is only about 5 hours long.
Shouldn't have trusted you. Damn cops.
The other big change from previous Silent Hills is that there's no combat. The only action sequences are chase sequences in an icebound version of the traditional Dark World. Harry has no weaponry aside from his flashlight, cell phone, and occasional flares he finds that can ward off the shrieking, skinless, naked children chasing him. If they catch Harry, they can be thrown off, but take too many hits and he dies. Then you do the sequence again. It's not really survival horror so much as tedious bull.
Just turning up shows your commitment to the process.
Not only is it dull and repetitive, but it robs the game of any tension whatsoever. The only time anything can harm you is the chase sequences. Therefore, exploring the town is not scary at all, because you know nothing is going to actually happen. You can home in on sort of paranormal hotspots to earn story-related voice messages, but these scare moments are more pathetic than anything else. Ooh, the wreath fell off the tree! Come on, guys.
You seem to see the creepy in everything.
Using the Wiimote to directly control the flashlight is actually a pretty cool touch, even if the shadows on freestanding objects are sometimes a bit wonky. As the final nail in the coffin, the puzzles are insultingly easy and usually involve finding the key to a locked door a few feet from the door. And sometimes it's not even that hard. I don't think the people of Silent Hill really get the point of the whole locking the door thing.
If only I'd said something.
Silent Hill Shattered Memories has an interesting and refreshingly psychologically based storyline, but the gameplay elements are sorely lacking. A 2.
Nah. Silent Hill, wish you were here.
Out of 5.
Okay, didn't turn out so well. If you're looking for a good scare, maybe you should go back to the earlier games in the series. Here's our top 7 Silent Hill moments.
I'm looking for Silent Hill.
I think you'd better stay away. This town, there's something wrong with it.
You think? Silent Hill has been scaring the crap out of gamers for over a decade. Here are our 7 favorite moments.
7.
Insane cancer. Like many of the creatures in this series, this lump of malignant malice is more than just a gruesome obstacle in your path. It's a manifestation of one of society's biggest fears.
6.
Silent Hill 4 might not be a fan favorite, but it still has its share of messed up moments. Like having to look out of your peephole at a world covered in bloody handprints. Then you take another look and there's Henry staring back at you.
5.
Not all of the memorable moments in Silent Hill are scary, right, Princess Heart? Our favorite kibble and bit of humor in the franchise is this alternate ending from Silent Hill 2. Play us out, keyboard puppy.
4.
When it comes to jump out of your seat shock value, nothing beats this scene in the original. Creeping up, ready to stab whatever's moving inside the locker, we open the door and... Bad kitty. You deserved that.
3.
Nothing scary about a room full of mannequins, right? Especially the one with its head still on. But then you go to the other side of the shelves, here, and return to find this bloody mess. Try sleeping with the lights off after that one.
2.
Pyramid Head has plenty of oh my god moments in the series, but the most messed up has to be in Silent Hill 2, when you turn the corner and... some things you can't unsee. Stop showing that.
1.
The most memorable moment from the franchise takes place in the storage room of the alternate Brookhaven in Silent Hill 3. The floor-to-ceiling mirror, the blood creeping out of the drain, and then this happens. I didn't look at my reflection for a month. Thank you, Silent Hill. Now I gotta go find my nightlight again. Coming up on X-Play, it's our biggest episode of the year. Clear your schedule, load up on carbs, and get ready to break stuff. It's our hour-long Best of 2009 special. We'll reveal the winners in 19 categories, including the big one, Game of the Year. Plus, we'll preview some of the blockbuster games hitting stores in early 2010. You'll get the latest on the bromantic co-op shooter Army of Two, the 40th day, as well as the return of killer otaku Travis Touchdown in No More Heroes 2, Desperate Struggle. And we'll have a review of Pixel Junk Shooter, the stylish new downloadable game coming to the PlayStation Network. All that and more, don't miss it.
All right, Pixel Junk Shooter. I think at the end of the year, that's where my brain can really... It felt like it was made for me and my softness.
Yeah, very relaxing.
Very relaxing to shoot some things. It's got simple colors. Up next, it's Attack of the Show.